Have you ever noticed how morning just doesn't start the same way anymore? Maybe you wake up feeling tired, your body less responsive, and something as simple as those morning moments of confidence seems to fade away. It's a quiet struggle many men over 60 face but rarely talk about. You might think this is just a natural part of aging, that there's nothing you can do. But what if that's not entirely true? What if a few small, simple actions could help your body feel alive again? In today's video, we'll explore 3 surprising points on your body that, when gently pressed, can improve blood flow and help bring back that strength and vitality you thought was lost. Stick around. By the end, you'll discover a gentle, natural way to reclaim your mornings, without medication or surgery. Let's walk this journey together. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Have you ever sat at the breakfast table, staring into your morning coffee, feeling like a small but important part of your life is slipping quietly out of reach? Maybe you've noticed those spontaneous morning erections, the kind you never gave a second thought to in your younger years, have become rare visitors, or perhaps have disappeared altogether. For many men over 60, this change creeps in so gradually that it's easy to dismiss as just getting older. It becomes one of those silent losses, less visible than gray hair or wrinkles, but felt deeply nonetheless. You might tell yourself, well, that's just the way it is. Men my age don't expect those things anymore. Or maybe you keep the worry bottled up, feeling a little embarrassed or even guilty that something so private, so personal, still matters to you. But here's a question you might not have considered. What if this isn't just a matter of age, or fate, or something you have to accept without question? What if your body is quietly asking for help, and there are gentle, natural ways to listen and respond? Let's pause and look at what's going on under the surface. There's a reason these changes happen, and understanding the why can bring more relief than you might think. As we age, our bodies naturally go through a series of changes, many of which we don't notice until they start affecting the routines and rituals that make us feel alive. One of the most profound and least talked about changes is in our circulation. The heart, that loyal engine in our chest, has been pumping blood through our bodies for decades. Over time, the arteries and blood vessels can stiffen a little, and the flow isn't quite as smooth or forceful as it once was. Add in the fact that hormone levels, like testosterone, tend to drop as we age, and you've got a perfect recipe for those quiet mornings without the usual hello from your manhood. But why does blood flow matter so much, especially down there? Think of your body as a finely tuned system. Just as your car needs oil in all the right places to run smoothly, your body relies on a steady, healthy flow of blood to nourish every tissue. Erections are not just about desire. They're about the ability of your blood vessels to expand and fill with life-giving blood. When that flow is strong, morning erections often follow naturally, almost like a secret handshake between you and your youth. When circulation slows, those signals get weaker and weaker, until one day, they're just gone. But this isn't just about biology or mechanics. The loss can feel surprisingly personal. For many men, those morning moments are tied to feelings of strength, youth, and even identity. When they fade away, it can chip away at confidence in ways that ripple through daily life, affecting not just physical intimacy but also how you see yourself, how you interact with your spouse, and even your motivation to care for your health. The silence can grow heavy, turning a private change into something that quietly strains relationships and self-worth. Yet here's where science offers both comfort and hope. For most men, these changes are not set in stone. While age certainly plays a role, there are many factors: diet, movement, stress, and even how you breathe or sleep that influence blood flow and hormone health. And sometimes, the smallest adjustments can begin to turn things around. Let me share a simple, practical solution that many men find surprisingly effective, and it doesn't require a prescription or a trip to the doctor. It starts with paying attention to your body, learning where and how you can help your circulation, and turning that knowledge into a daily habit. One of the most accessible and gentle ways to support healthy blood flow is through touch, specifically by learning to stimulate key points on your body that promote circulation. Ancient healing practices, as well as modern science, have found that gentle pressure or massage on certain spots can encourage blood vessels to open up, improve the delivery of oxygen and nutrients, and even signal the body to relax and let go of tension. The best part? This can be done in the comfort and privacy of your own home, at your own pace. Here's how you can start. Take a few quiet minutes each day, perhaps after a shower or before bedtime, when you're relaxed and unlikely to be disturbed. Use your fingertips to gently press and massage the area around the base of your manhood, moving in small circles or pressing lightly for a count of 5 to 10 seconds at a time. Focus on 3 specific spots. One at the very base where your body meets your pelvis, one along the underside, and one at the tip. There's no need for force. Gentle, steady pressure is enough to awaken your circulation. As you breathe slowly and evenly, visualize healthy blood flowing through these pathways, bringing warmth and energy to every cell. Consistency is key. This is not a quick fix, but a daily gift you give yourself. Over time, sometimes in just a few weeks, many men notice subtle but real improvements. A greater sense of vitality, more frequent and firmer erections, and perhaps most important, a renewed sense of agency over their bodies. It's not magic, but it is a way to reconnect with parts of yourself that may have felt lost. If you're skeptical, you're not alone. Let me share the story of John, a retired firefighter from Ohio. At 68, John found himself avoiding intimacy, convinced that those days were behind him. He missed the quiet confidence he used to feel, and his wife, though supportive, noticed he seemed distant. After learning about simple circulation techniques, John decided to give it a try, not expecting much, but willing to see what would happen. Within a month, he noticed not just a physical change, but an emotional one. His energy returned, his mood lifted, and mornings once again became something to look forward to. He and his wife found new ways to connect, laughing together at how something so simple could make such a difference. I realized, John told me, that getting older doesn't mean giving up on feeling alive. So if you've been quietly struggling, feeling like your best days are behind you, I want you to remember, your body is resilient, and you have more power than you think to nurture and revive the parts of yourself that matter most. The science is on your side, and small daily actions can open the door to big changes. Let yourself be curious. Try the gentle technique I described and notice how your body responds, not just down there, but in your mood, your confidence, your sense of self. Aging may bring its challenges, but it also brings wisdom. The wisdom to listen to your body, to try new things, and to care for yourself with the kindness you've earned. You deserve mornings filled with vitality and connection, not just memories of how things used to be. This journey is yours, and you're not alone. Take the first step. Give your body a little extra care, and let's rediscover together what it means to feel truly alive at any age. Have you ever found yourself quietly wondering if there's anything you can do to reclaim a part of yourself that feels lost, not just to age, but to the slow and subtle changes no one talks about? Perhaps you've noticed that the morning confidence you once took for granted has faded, and with it, a sense of vitality and connection you wish you could recapture. For so many men over 60, the gradual decline in sexual function is seen as a fact of life, almost as inevitable as gray hair or aching joints. Maybe you, like so many others, have shrugged it off as just getting older. Yet every so often, there's a pang, a wish for something more, a quiet question. Is this truly all there is? But what if the story you've been told, and the one you quietly tell yourself, isn't the whole truth? What if, instead of simply accepting these changes, you could take small, gentle actions that might make a difference, not just for your body, but for your spirit and your relationships as well? Is it possible that something as simple as your touch could awaken parts of you that you thought were gone for good? If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment, 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Let's pause here and open a new chapter. A chapter grounded not in wishful thinking, but in understanding how your body works and how you can work with it. When it comes to maintaining strong, healthy erections and the kind of morning vitality that can change the entire course of your day, blood flow is the unsung hero. Erections are not just about desire or youth. They are, at their core, a matter of circulation. Think of your manhood like a garden. When water flows freely, the plants are vibrant, the soil is rich, and everything flourishes. When water becomes scarce, things start to wither, slowly and almost imperceptibly. In much the same way, your manhood depends on a steady, healthy supply of blood to stay strong, responsive, and full of life. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Your body is designed with natural pathways and pressure points that can encourage blood to flow more freely, right where it's needed most. These aren't secret tricks or ancient mysteries. They're simply the way the human body is built. And by learning to gently stimulate these key points, you can give yourself a daily boost, a kind of self-care ritual that's both private and empowering. So, what are these 3 key points, and how can you find them? The first point is right at the base of your manhood, where it meets your pelvis. Imagine the foundation of a sturdy tree, the roots that hold everything steady and allow for growth above the ground. This area is dense with blood vessels and acts as a gateway for the circulation that powers healthy erections. Using the pads of your fingers, apply gentle, steady pressure to this spot. There's no need to press hard, just enough to feel a slight firmness beneath your fingertips. Hold the pressure for 10 to 15 seconds, then release. You may feel a gentle warmth or tingling, a sign that blood is starting to move more freely. The second point is located about midway along the underside of the shaft. If you run your hand lightly down this path, you'll notice a subtle ridge or sensitive area. This is where many nerves and vessels converge. Think of it as the main pipeline, carrying energy and life to where it's needed most. Again, use gentle pressure or slow, circular motions for 10 to 15 seconds, always being careful not to cause discomfort. This isn't about force. It's about encouragement, like guiding water along a streambed rather than forcing it through a dam. The third point is at the tip, or glands, of your manhood. Not directly at the very center, but around the rim. This area is packed with delicate nerve endings and tiny blood vessels that respond to touch. Place your fingers softly around this area and apply a light, circular motion, pausing every few seconds to allow your body to respond. This gentle stimulation can signal your body to send more blood to the area, helping to restore not only physical response but sensitivity and confidence as well. Why does this work? When you stimulate these specific points, you're essentially giving your blood vessels a gentle nudge, reminding them of their job to carry fresh, oxygen-rich blood to the tissues that need it. Science calls this vasodilation, the natural expansion of blood vessels in response to touch, warmth, and gentle pressure. This is the same process that helps your face flush with color when you laugh, or your hands warm up when you hold a cup of coffee on a cold morning. It's your body's way of taking care of itself. And now, with intention and care, you can use it to your advantage. What makes this method so special is its simplicity and safety. There are no pills to swallow, no prescriptions to fill, no side effects to worry about. You don't need to make an appointment, pay a copay, or explain your concerns to anyone but yourself. This is self-care at its most honest and accessible. A quiet, respectful way to honor your body and your needs. And perhaps most importantly, it's drug-free and non-invasive. There's nothing to lose, and so much to gain. Here's how to begin. Choose a time of day when you can relax and focus. Many men find that after a warm shower is ideal, as the heat has already encouraged circulation. Sit or lie down somewhere private and comfortable. For 5 to 10 minutes, use your fingertips to gently stimulate the 3 points described above: the base, the underside, and the rim. Move in a slow, rhythmic cycle, pausing to breathe deeply and notice any sensations of warmth, tingling, or energy. There's no rush. Let this be a ritual of kindness, not a test of endurance. Over time, with daily practice, you may notice subtle but powerful shifts. Firmer morning erections, increased sensitivity, and a greater sense of agency over your body. Let me tell you about Henry, a retired teacher from Michigan. Henry spent years believing that intimacy and pleasure belonged to his past, not his future. He'd quietly mourned the loss of those easy mornings and the closeness he once shared with his wife. But after learning about this gentle hands-on approach, he decided to try it, just a few minutes a day, every morning after his shower. At first, nothing seemed to change. But after 3 weeks, he noticed a spark. His mornings felt different, and so did he. His confidence grew, and he began to reconnect with his wife in ways he thought were gone forever. It's not about turning back the clock, Henry told me, but about finding new ways to enjoy every day I'm given. So, if you're sitting there, wondering if this is really for you, I want you to remember, your journey isn't over, and neither is your capacity for joy. These 3 points are more than just physical locations. They're a pathway to hope, vitality, and connection. By giving yourself the care and attention you deserve, you're not just improving your health, you're nurturing your spirit, and perhaps even your relationships. Aging doesn't mean giving up. It means learning to listen more closely to what your body needs, and responding with patience, wisdom, and a touch of curiosity. Take a moment today to try this simple routine. It doesn't cost a thing, and you have nothing to lose but the quiet doubts that hold you back. In a world that moves fast and expects us to keep up, it's a small act of rebellion, and a big step toward living life on your terms, every single day. Starting a new self-care practice can feel awkward at first, especially when it's something so personal. But sometimes, the most meaningful steps are the quiet ones we take for ourselves, behind closed doors, as an act of kindness and hope. If you've made it this far in the journey, you already know that there's no shame in wanting to reclaim a sense of vitality, only courage in seeking gentle ways to nurture yourself. Here's how to begin this daily ritual, step by step, so you can give your body the chance it deserves to respond and renew. Step 1. Find the 3 key points. Take a few moments to settle in a private, comfortable space where you won't be rushed. Many men find that after a warm shower or bath, their muscles are relaxed, their skin is softer, and their mind may be more at ease. Begin by familiarizing yourself with your own body. This isn't about judgment, but about curiosity and care. Use your hand to gently explore and locate the 3 main points. The base, root. This is where your manhood meets your body, just above the testicles, at the very beginning of the shaft. It may feel slightly firmer or anchored, like the roots of a tree, grounding everything above it. The underside, shaft. Slide your fingers about halfway down the underside of the shaft. Here, you'll likely notice a subtle ridge or a slightly different texture, perhaps a little more sensitive to touch. This is where nerves and blood vessels are most concentrated. The tip, gland/rim. Finally, bring your attention to the rim around the tip of your manhood, just where the shape changes and the tissue is softest. This area is delicate and rich with nerve endings. Treat it with the utmost care and respect. Take your time finding these points. There's no need to rush. This process itself can be grounding, even calming. Simply becoming more aware of your own body is a powerful act, especially as we age and the world sometimes tells us to turn away from it. Step 2. Gentle pressure and massage. Once you've found the 3 points, it's time to bring your hands into action. Using the pads of your fingertips, never the nails, begin with the base point. Apply gentle, steady pressure, just enough to feel contact with the tissue beneath, but never enough to cause discomfort or pain. Imagine you're pressing a ripe peach or testing the softness of a fresh loaf of bread. Soft, yielding, but resilient. Hold for 10 to 15 seconds, then release. Move next to the underside. Here, try small, slow circular motions with 1 or 2 fingers. Let your touch be light, almost like you're smoothing out silk. The goal isn't to force or rush anything, just to nudge your body's natural response, encouraging blood to flow more freely. Again, spend 10 to 15 seconds here, breathing deeply and evenly. Finally, bring your fingers to the rim around the tip. Because this area is so sensitive, the lightest pressure is often best. You might simply rest your fingers there, or gently trace small circles, pausing every few seconds to check in with your body. If anything feels uncomfortable or off, ease up or take a short break. This isn't a contest. It's a conversation with yourself. Step 3. Timing and consistency. Now that you've learned the technique, the next question is, when and how often should you practice? The answer is simple. Regularly, but with patience and compassion. 5 to 10 minutes once a day is enough for most men. Choose a time when you're least likely to be interrupted. Early mornings, before the world wakes up, or evenings before bed are often ideal. If you're someone who thrives on routine, make this part of your daily self-care, like brushing your teeth or stretching before a walk. For others, it might fit best after a shower, when your mind is already in a restful state. What matters most is that you return to it consistently. Change happens not with grand gestures, but with small, steady acts repeated over time. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. As you practice, notice not just the physical sensations, but any shifts in your mood, energy, or sense of well-being. You might be surprised how a few quiet minutes of self-attention can ripple out into the rest of your life. Over the weeks, some men find firmer morning erections, greater sensitivity, or simply a deeper feeling of connection to their bodies. A word of caution and gentle wisdom. As with any new practice, kindness to yourself comes first. Always listen to your body. If you have any pain, discomfort, or a medical condition affecting your manhood, check with your doctor before starting. Never press hard enough to cause soreness, bruising, or numbness. If you notice any unusual symptoms, persistent pain, swelling, or color changes, pause your practice and consult a healthcare professional. It's also important to remember that results may come gradually. Some days, you may notice more warmth or sensation. Other days, less. This is normal. Our bodies are not machines, and progress often moves in gentle waves, not straight lines. Stay patient, and trust that your effort is a form of care, not just for your body, but for your confidence and peace of mind. A story of gentle persistence. Let me share the story of Bill, a grandfather from Indiana who spent years believing that intimacy and pleasure belonged to the past. When he first tried this technique, he felt self-conscious, even a little silly. But with encouragement from his wife, and the quiet hope that maybe, just maybe, he could feel a spark again, he gave it a real try. 5 minutes each night before bed. No expectations, no pressure. After a month, Bill noticed something had shifted, not just physically, but emotionally. He felt less anxious about aging, more at ease in his skin. His wife said he seemed lighter, happier, and more engaged in everyday life. For Bill, it was proof that small steps, repeated with care, can lead to a whole new sense of possibility. Your turn. The power of consistency. If you're watching this and still hesitating, remember, there's no race, no right or wrong way to care for yourself. You've earned the right to feel whole and alive at every stage of life. By showing up for yourself each day, even for just a few minutes, you're sending your body and your heart a powerful message. I still matter. I still deserve care, pleasure, and connection. Aging isn't about surrendering to decline. It's about embracing change with curiosity, wisdom, and self-respect. If you treat yourself with patience, gentleness, and a spirit of discovery, you may just be surprised by what your body can still offer you. So, take a deep breath. Find your 3 points. Let your hands be kind, your mind be open, and your spirit be hopeful. This is your time, and you are never too old to rediscover the joy of feeling truly alive. Sometimes, the things that change our lives most aren't the big, dramatic events that make headlines. but the small, quiet losses that slip in unnoticed. For men over 65, one of those losses is often the slow, almost invisible fading of intimacy and confidence. You might notice that mornings don't start with the same spark they once did, or that the easy, natural closeness you shared with your partner feels more distant. For many, it's easier to brush off, to chalk it up to getting older, and try not to think about it. After all, isn't this just how life goes as we age? But what if that assumption isn't entirely true? What if this change, while common, isn't something you just have to accept? What if your body and mind are capable of more healing and renewal than you've been led to believe? These are the kinds of questions that quietly surface in the still moments. When the house is quiet, the world slows down, and you find yourself wishing for the comfort and confidence of years gone by. Let me tell you about Frank, a real man who could be your neighbor, your brother, or even yourself. Frank was 71 when he first started feeling truly old. It wasn't his thinning hair or the ache in his knees that got to him. It was the way he avoided Linda's eyes when she reached for his hand, the way he felt hollowed out by the absence of those small, physical reminders of love each morning. For decades, he and Linda had shared everything. Laughter, struggles, even the quiet moments of disappointment. But as the years passed, Frank withdrew. He blamed work, the weather, anything but the real reason. The loss of that intimate connection left him feeling embarrassed, isolated, and less of the man he'd always been. If you'd asked him, Frank would have told you he was just too old for that stuff now. He tried to make light of it, teasing Linda that she deserved better, or joking with his bowling buddies that retirement had made him lazy in all the wrong ways. But deep down, Frank grieved for the closeness they'd lost. He missed the easy comfort of waking up beside someone who made his heart feel young, and he missed the quiet pride that came from feeling whole and connected in his skin. Then one evening, while Linda was visiting their daughter, Frank sat down in front of the TV with a mug of decaf and stumbled across a health program about men's wellness. The host talked about blood flow, hormones, and the importance of touch, not the dramatic movie kind, but the gentle, practical kind you can do for yourself every day. He described a simple, daily practice, focusing on 3 key points to gently stimulate and support healthy circulation. There was no sales pitch for pills, no promise of miracles, just a calm, respectful explanation of how small, regular acts of self-care can spark changes from the inside out. Frank was skeptical. After all, he'd spent his life working with his hands, solving practical problems. Could something so simple make a difference? Still, that night, before bed, he decided to give it a try. Following the steps carefully, he used his fingertips to gently press and massage the 3 points the program described: the base, the underside, and the rim. He breathed deeply, moving slowly, not expecting much. There was no thunderbolt, no sudden transformation, just a sense of relaxation and a quiet hope he hadn't felt in years. The next morning, Frank woke up feeling a little lighter. Maybe it was just a good night's sleep, he thought. But as the days went by, he kept up the practice. 5 or 10 minutes each morning, with a soft light filtering in through the window, Frank permitted himself to hope again. After about a week, he noticed the first changes: a bit more warmth, a faint but unmistakable tingling, and the slow return of those morning signals he'd missed so much. The change was subtle, but it was real. With each passing day, Frank's confidence grew. He started sleeping better, worrying less, and feeling more like himself. Linda, ever perceptive, saw the difference before he said a word. She noticed that he was less withdrawn, more likely to reach for her hand or linger over coffee. Their conversations, once full of tension or awkward silences, became easy and full of laughter again. For Frank, it wasn't just about intimacy. It was about reclaiming his sense of self, his optimism, and his connection to the life he and Linda had built together. As weeks turned into months, the daily practice became as natural as brushing his teeth or tying his shoes. It wasn't a chore, it was a gift, one he gave himself every day, in gratitude for the years he'd lived and the love he still had. Sometimes, on quiet mornings, Frank would remember the man he'd almost become, someone resigned, diminished, waiting out the years instead of living them. Now, he felt hopeful, even a little adventurous. He and Linda planned a trip to the Grand Canyon, something they'd put off for years. When their daughter called, she said her dad sounded 10 years younger. Frank just smiled, grateful that small acts of care had rippled out to touch every corner of his life. You might be listening to this story and see yourself in Frank, in the quiet moments of doubt, in the longing for connection, or in the hope that something so simple might help. Science backs up Frank's experience. Gentle, mindful touch, especially at key points, can support healthy blood flow, reduce anxiety, and foster a sense of well-being. Our bodies never stop responding to care, no matter our age. If you're hesitating, wondering if it's worth trying, I invite you to start today. Set aside 5 or 10 minutes in the morning or evening, find a quiet space, and give yourself the gift of gentle, focused attention. There's no need for embarrassment or grand expectations. Just the simple hope that you, too, are worthy of care and connection. Over time, you may notice changes. Greater sensitivity, stronger confidence, and a deeper sense of belonging in your own life. Frank's story is a reminder that it's never too late to rediscover what makes you feel alive, hopeful, and whole. Aging brings challenges, yes, but it also brings wisdom and the power to shape our days with intention and kindness. The quiet rituals we create for ourselves are more than habits. They are lifelines, carrying us toward a future filled with meaning, intimacy, and joy. You are never too old to begin again. Let today be your first step. Give yourself the care you deserve, and let hope take root. Your story is still being written. Make it one filled with confidence, connection, and the courage to seek out the good that life still holds. There's something quietly powerful about reaching a certain age. A wisdom that comes not just from the years, but from living through all that life can throw at you. By now, you know that health isn't just about avoiding illness. It's about finding the little things that make you feel alive, whole, and connected every day. If you're already exploring ways to improve blood flow and regain vitality, you're further ahead than you think. Still, the journey to better sexual health isn't just about what happens in a few private minutes each morning or night. It's about the choices you make at the dinner table, the habits you build during the day, and the quiet rituals that keep you grounded and hopeful. Let's start with what you put on your plate. Nutrition may not seem exciting at first, but the foods you eat truly have the power to change your life from the inside out. If you want your heart and blood vessels to support you well into your 70s and beyond, leafy greens are your friend. Spinach, kale, and arugula might not have been your favorite foods growing up, but they're packed with nitrates, compounds that help your blood vessels relax and allow blood to flow more freely. Add them to an omelet, toss them into a soup, or enjoy them in a fresh salad. You'll be surprised how much lighter and more energetic you feel. Fish is another quiet hero, especially cold water varieties like salmon, sardines, and mackerel. These fish are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which not only protect your heart but also help keep your blood flowing smoothly. Try swapping a steak dinner for grilled salmon a few times a week, or experiment with tuna salad on whole grain bread. Even a simple can of sardines with crackers can be a heart-healthy snack. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Of course, not all fats are created equal. The kind you find in fried foods, processed snacks, and fatty red meats can clog arteries and slow circulation. Try replacing those with olive oil, avocado, and nuts. Just a handful of walnuts or almonds a day makes a difference. If you grew up in the era of meat and potatoes, know that small changes over time are what count. Nobody expects you to become a nutrition saint overnight. Start with one healthy swap, and let it become a habit you enjoy. Beyond food, gentle movement is one of the greatest gifts you can give your body and your manhood. Many men worry that it's too late to start exercising, but nothing could be further from the truth. You don't need to run marathons or hit the gym for hours on end. A daily walk, even if it's just around your neighborhood or to the mailbox and back, gets your blood pumping and lifts your mood. Walking is simple, free, and easy to fit into almost any routine. Find a walking buddy or take along your dog if you have one. Companionship makes every step easier. For those open to new experiences, yoga is a gentle yet powerful way to increase flexibility, lower stress, and support healthy blood flow. You don't need to twist yourself into a pretzel. Even beginner stretches and basic poses help. There are plenty of senior-friendly yoga videos online. Give one a try in your living room, or see if a local community center offers a class. If you prefer something more discreet, Kegel exercises are a fantastic option. These simple movements strengthen the pelvic floor muscles, which play a direct role in erectile health. To do a Kegel, simply tighten the muscles you'd use to stop urinating, hold for a few seconds, and release. Do this 10 or 15 times a few times a day, and you'll notice a difference over time. All the healthy food and movement in the world won't make much difference if your mind is weighed down by stress and worry. Many men grew up believing that emotions should be bottled up, but science tells us that chronic stress can wreak havoc on blood pressure, hormone levels, and sexual health. Permit yourself to slow down. Whether it's through meditation, prayer, gardening, or simply taking a few minutes to breathe deeply, every act of self-care sends a message to your body that it's safe to relax and heal. Sleep is another pillar of good health that too often gets neglected. Aim for 7 to 8 hours a night if you can. A good night's sleep gives your body time to repair, regulate hormones, and keep your blood vessels healthy. Try to keep a regular bedtime, limit caffeine in the afternoon, and turn off screens an hour before sleep. Your body and your relationships will thank you. Regular health checkups are a quiet act of courage and self-respect. Many men avoid the doctor, but annual visits can help catch small issues before they become bigger problems. Ask your physician to check your blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, and hormone levels. Low testosterone, for example, is common with age and can be safely addressed if needed. Don't hesitate to bring up concerns about sexual health. Doctors have heard it all, and you deserve answers and support without embarrassment. Let's not forget the power of mindset. It's easy to let frustration or disappointment take root when changes show up with age. But remember, you are still capable of growth, connection, and pleasure. Aging is not the end of the story. It's simply a new chapter. Give yourself credit for all you've learned and overcome. Approach each day with curiosity and self-compassion, knowing that every small act of care is an investment in your future. To bring this home, let me share the story of Ray, a 69-year-old retired mechanic from Colorado. For years, Ray had put his health on the back burner, grabbing fast food on the way home and spending evenings watching TV. After his wife's gentle urging, he started small: spinach on his sandwich, walking around the block, and 10 minutes of easy stretches before bed. He added Kegels after seeing a TV special about men's health. At first, he barely noticed a difference. But over several months, Ray's energy increased. He lost a bit of weight, slept better, and started waking up feeling refreshed and, to his surprise, more like his old self. The intimacy he and his wife thought was gone slowly returned. Ray didn't do anything radical, just made small changes and stuck with them. Looking back, he says, "I wish I'd started sooner, but I'm glad I started at all." If you're reading this and feeling unsure where to begin, remember, you don't have to change everything at once. Choose one tip, maybe a salad at dinner tonight, a short walk tomorrow, or a few quiet moments of breathing before bed. Celebrate each small victory, and let your confidence build one day at a time. Aging is not about giving up on joy, connection, or intimacy. It's about leaning into new rhythms, finding what works for you, and giving yourself the same care and patience you'd offer a loved one. Your health, your happiness, and your relationships are worth every gentle effort. You're never too old to start, and every step you take is a step toward a life that's fuller, richer, and more deeply yours. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to remember one thing. Your age does not define your worth, your vitality, or your ability to enjoy life to the fullest. The changes you're experiencing are natural, yes, but they don't have to hold you back. With simple, gentle care, whether it's pressing those 3 key points, nourishing your body with healthy foods, moving your body with kindness, or nurturing your mind with rest and positivity, you can reclaim parts of yourself you may have thought were lost. Like Harold and Frank, whose stories we shared, many men have found hope and renewal through small daily choices. It's not about rushing or chasing perfection. It's about showing up for yourself, day after day, with patience and love. Your body is resilient, your spirit strong, and your capacity for connection endless. So today, I invite you to take that first step, no matter how small. Try the techniques we talked about. Add one healthy habit. Reach out if you need support, because you deserve to feel confident, connected, and alive. Thank you for trusting me to walk this path with you. If this video helped you or gave you hope, please like, share, and subscribe so we can continue this journey together. And don't forget to leave a comment below. Tell me one thing you learned and plan to try. Your story matters, and together, we can embrace aging not as an enemy but as a new beginning filled with strength, joy, and love. You are never alone, and it's never too late to rediscover the vibrant, powerful man you've always been. Here's to you and the journey ahead.